I'm from the
Same place as trap music, this that first react music. They can't hold me back, I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch.
Good evening and welcome back to another awesome episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. And tonight, we will be smoking on code switching. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, myself, Chef Errol Pearl, and the god, Ali Daoud El at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. How are you, guy?
Hi, guys.
Peace.
Pleasant. I'm pleased to see you today, my man.
Oh, it's wonderful as always to be back again with you. You know, how have you been? How's your week been?
It's been plentiful, bountiful, without end. More words and words and words. And yours.
Mine has been absolutely awesome. Thank you for asking.
Peace, God.
Peace, God. Peace, God. Shout out to Grandma Mary.
Hey,
Rest in power. You know, we back, y'all. And
that was funny.
yeah, you know, tonight, y'all, we talking about code switching. So, you know, it seems that that's one of the things that I don't know, either benefits our community or plagues it. Or, you know, there's some negative connotations. There are some positive mindsets about it. But you know, we gonna figure it out tonight. But before we do, y'all, make sure to head on over to www.bksoulfarm.com and pick up your copy of 1016 160 Self-Sustainability by the God Ali Dawood El. Right there. Once again, that's www.bksoulfarm.com. Link is in the description. And also, don't forget, y'all, we got 9 days left. 9 days left. Post your DBCHEFTV merch to win $1,000 cash. Okay. Links in the description. Good luck to everybody. Contest ends March 10, 2026 at midnight. And that's Pacific time. So it could still be midnight on the East Coast. But you got a few more hours to get yours in and win. All right. And like we always say, if money's tight, it's all right. Just smash the like. And we're gonna love y'all for that too.
From right here.
Every time. So let's get into tonight's questions for code switching. So our first question of the evening is, what do you think of when you hear the saying code switching? 2, have you ever experienced code switching and what was the outcome? 3, does code switching only apply to Black Americans? If so, why? 4, should code switching be encouraged or avoided, and why? And then last but never least, our fifth and final question, is the saying code switching bad, good, or misunderstood? And you're going to have to stick around for that, y'all. You're going to have to stick around to the end to find out what the Cigarden Panel thinks. Is it bad, good, or misunderstood? So let's go ahead and get into our first question. What do you think of when you hear the saying code switching? Let us know in the live chat or the comment section below, depending on when you're watching this. The God, Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
Um, for me, when I think of code switching off top, I think of firstly I think about survival mode, right? I think about stories that my grandmother used to tell me about her mother and her grandmother being back in time and how they had to interact around Caucasians, let's just say,
Okay.
right? And how in their presence when they came to interrupt or interfere in their bonding time with their family, how they had to change the tone of their voice and humble their posture in order to appease the individual that had the power and authority to interfere with them, right? And when that person departed their presence, my grandmother or my great grandmother may have uh, cussed towards that person under a low breath to either my grandmother or a great grandmother, depending on how it was, right? Just telling stories. Um, so to me, I think that's like the start of it. That's why I say survival mode, because I feel like they weren't necessarily not being themselves. They were trying to stay alive and keep from getting licks, and I'm not mad at that at all. Um, I also think about kind of what we was doing at the intro, right? White speak. I think that's what.
Was that white speak? That wasn't white speak. How dare you? How dare you? That wasn't white speak. That was my most proper of proper
See.
articulation and etiquette.
I think
That was
and
appropriate speak.
I think any form of proper articulation or uh, pronunciation or using the correct accents or whatever may be deemed as white speak, or you trying to be better than somebody to a person in lack, right? A person that is afraid of the dark and haven't realized that the power is with them to be great, and they just make the choice every day to continue to be a bum, and they need to do better, right? Um, I also, and lastly, I think I also think about wearing a mask, right? Where you go to work and you kind of like that Jim Carrey thing right now,
What's
right?
popping with Jim Curry?
Everybody's saying that he clones. Right? Everybody's saying it's not him.
They say G Man was clone. Who else? Kanye
Nah,
was clone.
oh, yeah. They say
Jamie
everybody's
Foxx was
clone.
clone.
but 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 if with AI now, I don't know what's real and what's not real um in real life. But I did see what looked like an interview where Jim Carrey himself, what looked like to be himself, made a statement that his character, even Jim Carrey, is a character that he um, gives out to the people and he portrays, right? So he never really we never actually get to see or meet the real person. Like he keeps that separate kind of thing, right?
So
And
his real name is not even Jim Carrey. That's the thing.
I don't know. I guess what he said was he presents himself as the fun loving, carefree kind of guy, so that the people watching them could also be carefree and fun loving,
Okay.
right? So he's
So
trying
even
to,
when they approach him in public,
yeah, like
okay.
so even though he may not be like that in real life, for real,
Hmm.
that is his outward facing appearance. Trying to use his fame to inspire people to be better, kind of thing, is what I got from it. But that's what I mean by a
That's not
mask, right?
bad. That's
Like
not bad.
like you're not necessarily showing your face, but you showing people the face that you want or need them to see.
Yeah.
for your sustainability or maintainability or whatever, right?
For whatever purpose it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think, God. I think survival mode, white speak, and wearing a mask.
Survival mode, white speak. Survival mode. Is white speak anything like, shout out to Drewski, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, and Marlon, the Marlon, the Wayne's brothers. Is
Mm.
white speak anything like white face?
What do you mean by white face? What's white
Like
face?
putting on a whole bunch of white makeup, and then we're brothers. We're
Yeah.
happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like anything like that. That's white face, white speak.
Yeah, that right there.
Like who was Martin's character? Who in the chat? Who was it? Tom from work? Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Hey Martin.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That kind of thing, right? So, um, and who knows? That might be a form of survival mode. I don't know. Like,
And then wearing a mask. I think the survival mode and wearing the mask, I think those kind of thread the same needle.
yeah.
White speak though.
I think that's the name that people put on it, right? Like, I think
I like it though. I
the
like
most
it
common
though.
thing that I've heard. Like,
Yeah, you sound like you white.
you're trying to talk white.
You trying to talk white. You think you white?
Yeah.
Like last time I looked in the mirror, no. No.
You graduated high school with honors, and you actually understand grammar and apply it correctly, and you're trying to be white.
That's it. We're going to get to that, though. We're going to get to that because shout out to all of the intelligent, articulate, melanated, Black folks, African Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, that, don't speak ninja gibberish. That pride themselves in not indulging in ninja gibberish. So what do I think of when I hear the saying code switching? The first thing that comes to mind is the negative that you get from your own people. That's the first thing I get. The negative, like the things we were just making fun of, but are so serious in nature. When you purposefully make an attempt to communicate, to execute what we call what is it that we call effective communication, then the articulation of that specific communication needs to be done in a way so it can be received and it can be comprehended. In certain situations, people do agree to have ignorant ass conversations, what I would deem ignorant conversations. And that's because I've had them before. I can always, one thing people have to realize, like, first is that I'm never punching down. Like, I've been the worst version of a nigga that you can imagine. Okay. Of whatever a person would consider to be like, oh, here come this nigga. Okay. I've been that early. I got it out my system early. Okay. And that was because I made a choice, because that wasn't effective. That wasn't working on getting me to where I am today. The things that I needed to do, how I needed to conduct myself to be where in the position that I am today, enjoying the lifestyle and the things that I have worked hard to accomplish. So I could speak on it. And when it comes to code switching, that thought is the negative that we get from your peers, from other people who don't value effective communication. So when I think of code switching, I think of a lack of value for effective communication.
A lack of value for effective communication.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. There's a lack of value for effective communication. Yeah. And I say that because, you know, people will, you can have, like, I always go, you know, like, I try not to do too much made up stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect everybody's privacy, so I don't use nobody's names, you know, but people know if I'm talking about them, because if they interacted with me, then they know I ain't lying on them, you know. But I have had situations where you go in and maybe it seems harsh, but you dial it back a little bit and you communicate when a person may be like, what are you talking about? So then you try to explain and you're being effective. You aren't necessarily code switching. You're just trying to be effective and you're using real words. You aren't using slang. All right. Even if you may have started, you know, the conversation, lay it in. And then a person's like, well, what are you talking about? Okay, well, okay, so you're trying to understand how I got to that point. Okay, so here's what I'm explaining to you, you know, and then they take the route of the negative route, you know, like they don't value the effective communication. They rather have chaos, you know. So
in that, real quick, guys. So in that scenario, you you trying to talk up the nigga out of niggerdom. And, and the Negro is saying, hell no, I won't go.
The Negro is saying, I don't want to be civilized.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, the Negro is saying, I don't want to be civilized. I don't want to be I don't want effective communication. I want to be a nigga. You know?
A lack for effective communication. The Negro is fighting against civilization.
It's fighting against the civilized communication.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You know?
That's interesting.
So I mean, I've experienced that and I'm just like, damn, you know. I'm like, so when you talking to somebody respectful, you know, and then you in return say, you know, like, I'm not gonna play with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna waste my time because you got free time to, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you ain't got my time though.
Yeah, but you ain't got my time though. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been living way longer. I got less years in front of me than I do behind me to be bullshitting with your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like,
yeah, because the years, you know, behind you is guaranteed. The ones in front of you, not so much.
Not so much. So we already made a whole bunch of mistakes, you know. We already had a lot of learning lessons.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it haven't been perfect to this point. You might see me in a place and you think it's perfect, but you don't know the road traveled to get here. You don't know how much I almost fucked it up for myself. You know, from my own choices, being accountable, my own decisions, not blaming it on nobody else. Not saying, well, if you wouldn't have did, I wouldn't have did. Nah.
Nah. I
You
almost
did
myself
something,
out.
they did something, and I still did something, and I still got to be accountable for what I did.
Yep.
And that's part of being an adult. That's part of being mature. You know what I'm saying? So I look at when I think of code switching, that's what I think. I think of code switching is, is not valuing effective means of communication.
I can rock with that. Yeah, the way you broke that down was cool.
Let's see who we got in the chat right here. Shout out to Bubbling Brown pulling up. Let's see.
Peace. Bubbling Brown.
Bubbling Brown says, example, you might speak casually slang with friends, but use more formal language in a job interview. No doubt.
So is that code switching because you use formal language in a job interview? Like you don't know these people. Like to be informal with people there's somebody that's interviewing with you, that's interviewing you, sounds crazy to me.
Well, you know what I think about that guy is that who the person in this situation values what the people think of them at that job.
Hell yeah, they want the job.
Because they want the job, So when you have see, like now you go around casually around friends or in, a non-professional setting.
Yeah.
Right. Now you can be, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. Right. Now you can now that's where now a person lacks respect for, themselves. Like, and that's, we're going to get into it, but that's why I think that not desiring to be able to communicate and not practicing communicating on the same level with everyone.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. You gotta be able to be understood.
Right. And that's where there's a problem. Because just because it's the job interview and quote unquote, it could be some white people, could whoever the employer is.
Yeah.
All right. Because it could be a black employer. All right. Then they still want to present themselves in a way that it's like, you don't know the real me. But at some point in time, the real you is going to bleed through. Because people go to jobs and they get comfortable with certain people. Like, it's rare that people don't take somebody home from work, like at least one person,
at least once,
right? So I don't, faking it to make it too. Code switching, faking it to make it.
Yeah, that's right.
Faking it to make it too. That's another thing I think of. Faking it to make it.
Yeah, faking it to make it.
Faking it to make it. Yeah, lying to kick it.
Lying to kick it.
Lying to kick it. Peace, Jesus in the building.
Jesus, what's going on, God?
Big Cheese say, we gotta do it. Maneuver in professional settings. I've been doing it for years. Absolutely, I understand. Absolutely, I understand.
But is that code switching? Like, I guess maybe it is. Even with my stuff with survival, white speaking, wearing a mask, I guess that would 100% be code switching. Damn.
Oh no, we giving this a meaning now. We haven't, like we sound like we know what the job we talking about right now.
No, just based off what I said and what you said so far, like we just put the conversation together, and I'm like,
based on our personal experiences, based on the chat, what the chat is saying, how they viewing it, it seems like there is some type of, cultural mindset that's applied to this, because we had the one comment from Bubbling Brown saying, in a job interview, all right, but it's okay to be, I guess your normal self around your friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Cheese say, we got to do it to maneuver in professional settings. Okay. But I also now this is something I got for y'all too in the chat real quick on those two comments right there. What about when you're at a work function that's not at work?
You still at work, God.
You still at work.
You still at work.
So can nobody walk up to you and say, so what do you think about the new process that we got going on? And you can't be like, man, fuck that shit for real. I just really be dealing with that shit when we at work. Right now, we having drinks and food. Talk to me about that shit in the morning.
I think you can if they say you can. Like if that's the expectations of that environment or that situation. But I think if you just start bad mouthing stuff because you had a couple too many drinks, you might be showing that you can't handle your liquor and you're a little irresponsible. But if it's intended for team building, to is for relaxed communications with the highest supervisors and stuff like that, then I think that would be appropriate and not there will be no get back or no there'll be no harm to the person is what I'm saying. If it's in that environment, if it's in that environment,
and you know what, God, this is what happens. This is what happens. She said, can't be on hood talk. You know what's up? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Right? But then this is what happens. Sometimes you get a supervisor or a senior person that breaks the ice because we're not at work. And they may say, because I've had this happen before in the military, where you go out drinking, you know, you in a little port call or something, or you off work or whatever. And, you know, they ask you, hey, you know, that group goes and hangs out, but you don't usually go with them. And then somebody says, man, come on, hang out with us, Pearl, you know? And I'm like, all right, man, cool. So then I get there, people drinking, and you're quiet. You're just observing because you never go anyway, because I never had a desire. Like, I don't want to hang with y'all outside of work. I see y'all all fucking day long, all night.
None of y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like I want to go see my lady, you know, like
100%.
like I ain't trying to see y'all. But then in that environment, you get somebody who does not possess the same ethnicity as you, maybe have some more rank, some more in positional power over you, and they say something like, man, fuck that bullshit, man. I ain't trying to hear that dumb shit. Right, Pearl? You know?
That's right.
And you like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, word God.
You know, and then you like, all right, okay. I see what you're doing. You trying to make it comfortable for me.
That's what I'm saying, right?
You
like
know?
if it's that kind of situation, but I don't trust it personally though. Like I think all work situations is all work, except for the few friends that I make.
Yeah, like in this particular person I'm talking about, I got the picture of him, his wife, his kids on my refrigerator.
You know, he getting the real.
Yeah, like that's my man right there. Shout out to Big Sean, man.
He get everything. Peace, Sean.
Yeah, that's big bro, man.
Hell
But I understood that.
Yeah.
You know, I understood what he was doing because I was always in whiteface. You know, and he drive a Range Rover, you know what I'm saying? His music, he be bumping the hip-hop music all the time. You know, he be swagged out, drippy and all that. You know, I was on active duty, young, doing my thing. And he like, but when he come in here, he's Yes, Chief, absolutely. I think that we can get that done, certainly, and he like, I know you a nigga for real. What I'm saying? Like that's what I'm thinking of. I'm like, you know, so we had that conversation. Like once we got cool, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Once we got cool, then I really had a real conversation with him because I was like, he not faking, like he really he values.
Correct. It's not a setup.
Yeah, he values what I contribute to the unit.
Facts.
So because he values what I contribute to the unit, he doesn't want to. He wants to know me more he wants me to open up so he can know me more personally. He don't want me to feel so.
Yeah.
So like I can't trust him because he could tell like I don't trust none of y'all motherfuckers around here. I'm scarred. I'm traumatized. I done been through some shit before I got to this unit. And I'd be damned if I'm gonna take this shit from y'all. So let's check out these comments real quick. That's still a type of work environment. The CEO could be at the other end of the bar. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. That's tricky, right?
That's true. That's true. But what if it's the CEO? What if the CEO walk up to you like, "What's up, dog?
Hey, sir. How you doing?" Like, I don't know, man. Like,
do you be like, do you go, man? I ain't shit, just chilling up in here, man. Thanks for the free drinks. This is nice. You got all this on your tab, Maybe they want that.
but is that so maybe they want that? Is that now an acceptable tone to take moving forward everywhere in your work experience with this person? Or is that just for this environment that we're in off base or off work on off site?
Well, you have to ask the person because once I get cool with you, you know what I'm saying? Then in front of you, where we needed to be, where we needed to practice customs and courtesies, I did, because you have other commands and things like that around. So so you follow the rules of the road.
Yeah.
But if it was just like we could be at work and it's just a regular work day, I'm like, what's up, player? And that could be that could be during that time I was like an E4. So, and that relationship I developed was with an E6. So like, yeah, even if when I made 5 and he made 7 or 8 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or he made warrant office, it didn't matter. I was still like, what's up, player? I go to his office if I went to a unit and even with Sean, like he became the CEO of a station, right? And then I got a boat that was at the same pier, at the pier where his station was. So like when I went over there, I just walked through the building. Not like I owned the place, but I just walked through the building and and then when I went up in there, this is a real good story too about code switching. When I walked through there, it was only one brother at that unit. And when I walked through there and he saw the way me and Sean received each other, it changed his mind. He even pulled me to the side when I left and he was like, he that cool? I was like, man, I said, stick with him, man. Stick with him, man. He gonna show you everything you need to know. Because he was a younger guy. He had just got there. And I've been the only brother at a unit before, like the Coast Guard is like that. I don't know what it is now, but all through the 2000s, the late 90s, it's easy for you to show up and be the only suntan in the building, So
Navy wasn't much better.
So I understood that, like, I knew that. I knew when he pulled me to, he was like, hey, bro, come here for a minute, and he was just like, and he was shocked, because it was just like, what's up, dog? stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I was lower ranking than him too, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So and that's where I'm like, that's the difference. Like with me, like once we become friends, like if I got your family, if you can call me, you know, like, hey Pearl, I need you, you know, or if you can call me and I got your family on, I got you on speed dial, or you know, we happy holidays, I love
Yeah.
you, bro. Texas, how you doing? Catching it, like
Yeah,
we
but that's
friends.
that stopped being work at that point, and now you guys both are just happen to be at work versus
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But we met in that professional setting where he was
and
my subordinate, my superior, and
correct.
I was his subordinate.
But he was, and but because he was desirous of more, it allowed for you to develop more of a friendship with him, and for y'all
Yeah,
to actually find each other. Because just like your man's, like that was like that pulled you to the side. Like he was there and he saw old boy as well, and he never once thought to dap him up and like, hey yo.
yeah. He never he
he
never thought
never he
he
never
never
he
thought
never
short.
not once
Yeah,
thought that he could talk about the game or about any block stuff at all, or be comfortable with him until he saw you and him do that, right?
right. What Sean was reaching, but he wasn't being receptive. He thought he was faking
Thought
because
it was a setup.
yeah, he thought he was faking because he was the only brother there. So he trying to cater to me and trying to make me he
Yeah,
trying to play cool with
yeah,
me, you know, trying to speak my language. He trying to, hey, bro, hey,
yeah,
this. And I'm like, nah, that's how he
yeah.
really is. He just not gonna, and I told him, I said, he really like that. He just not gonna be that way with the white boys because the other white boys don't talk like that.
Yo, God, on that note, that's why I say, right, like like one of the number one things that we as black people in America, African Americans, whatever the term for us is, right? The one of the number one things that we got to practice besides consideration and just agreeing on one thing, um, like we need. Damn, I just lost my train of fucking thought. God, let's see, I'll come back to me, God.
It'll come back. It's all good.
Go back to me.
Don't worry, I got the same thing. I got the same thing. I got the same thing. You're a veteran. I know what that's all about.
Oh, that shit was powerful too.
It's all right. It'll come back though. It'll come back though.
Word up,
But
word up.
but Sean was code switching,
Yeah.
you know. Like, and he's a one of my light skinned brothers. You know, that's what I call him.
Old boy was code switching too by not interacting with him because he was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was making sure that he stayed on his, you know, on his
Yeah,
A game, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and not, you know, not show any signs of blackness.
Right?
You know, yeah. Goes down to make you feel like that though, for real though.
Everybody was code switching in that situation.
For real, it'll make you feel like that. Like you know,
Yeah.
maybe not so much back in now. I don't know, but like back in the day though, it was really like an assimilation process. Like you, because even if you play sports and you know you had um people from different ethnicities on your basketball teams and stuff like that, which I did playing sports and stuff. It was never. Yeah, I went to a high school that was like a 4A high school at one point in time because I went to like 3, 4 different high schools, but but we had it was integrated, but it was segregated, you know. So like all the white kids had one section, all of the Asian kids had one section, all the black kids had one section, all the Latino kids had one section, you know, but we interacted in classes and sports and
Mhm.
those things. But when we socialized, we didn't really socialize with each other unless it was part of a school structured thing, you
Damn.
know. So the difference was like, okay, yeah, because you know, I was a little, you know, knucklehead in school. So I sold bud to everybody. I had the Latino friends, the Hispanics, the whites, the black, everybody.
That
Oh,
worked out.
all right. So Earl was cool with everybody, right? I got the pack.
Mhm.
But when it came to going into the Coast Guard, I had never been in an environment where I was the only black person, you know, the only black person. And you talking about from command structure and you down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
you know, and you don't see none of your peer base, you know, none of the senior enlisted, none of the command structure, nothing, you know. So I understood where he was at, you know, why he felt like that. But I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, you stick with him, man. Trust me. And he stuck with him, and he's straight. I maybe got to ask Sean when I talk to him about that young brother, man. See if he's still in doing this thizzle. What's this? Cheese said, can't street talk at work ever. My coworker think I'm a square. They be like, you not from Brooklyn.
Yo, you know what's funny about that statement right there? I was just telling my dad that like when you from the city, like everybody is tough, whether you up from the whether you are a street person or not, like just the environment itself makes everybody the same thing, right? So you don't really be thinking about it for real. And I told him that when I joined the Navy, I found that more people was trying to put Brooklyn on me when I was actually just trying to be a good sailor. Right, like
Mhm.
they putting a bad attitude on me. Oh, you got that attitude because you from Brooklyn. You think you tough,
There
you
you
know.
go.
Like they scared they scary asses, right? So that's so
It's
funny,
that box though.
right? Just like she said, like because they think you a square, they say he can't be from Brooklyn. He can't
Or look, God. Or oh, that Coast Guard dude. That
be.
Coast Guard dude, like,
Yeah, super.
you know. So
Yeah, he's so nice.
yes, I understand it. I understand it. You can't be tough. You can't, like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm not tough at all. You know, with age, you realize us and them interactions. Us and them interactions.
Yeah,
Definitely. But
and that kind of sound like the same as what my grandmother was telling me about with her moms and her grandmother, right? Like the difference between how you interact with us and how you interact with them. Like it's all
yeah, people do that though. You know, that's one of the things that I've always been against is like, um, you know, you heard me say that, God, like I don't put people in the box. Like I don't, that's part of my not giving a shit about where you from.
yeah.
You know, like I don't care where you from. It's where you at, you know, where you at and where you going. Because if you were where you're from, would you be where you're at now?
Oh, no, I wouldn't know
You know,
nobody.
would you be in the same position, beneficial, successful? You know, um, are you in a if you from the hood, if you struggle, if you from the ghetto, the projects, the trailer park, any of that shit, anywhere where, you know what I'm saying, where you was struggling, where people was getting robbed outside, it was crime, it was a lot of police, this, a lot of that, and you live somewhere where ICE ain't in your community, your kids can go outside and play. You ain't got no registered SCX offenders living next door to you across the street, right?
Because you got to
Then
check that.
right? Um, then what is then why you want to be a nigga so bad? Why you holding on to being a nigga so bad? When you're not living in the conditions where people supposed to be real niggas, whatever the fuck that is, you know? So it's like, you know, like to me, it's like, is that a code switch? You know, is that or what is that? Is that denying switching codes? Because I gotta hold on to something authentically ignorant versus trying to become a better version of myself. Because if I change into something, who's not gonna like it? You not gonna like it? So, you know, it's just one of them things that that piqued my interest a little bit. So we were answering our first question, y'all. What do you think of when you hear the saying code switching? Let us know. what you think in the chat or the comment section below. And before we get to our second question, we're going to go ahead and pull up the definition.
Yo, there's a definition.
There is a definition for code switching. And we are taking this definition from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So, code switching is a noun. It is a person, place, or thing. That's what nouns are. And it is defined as the switching from the linguistic system of one language or dialect to that of another. Code switching. The switching from one linguistic system of one language or dialect to that of another. So when we go to the thesaurus, we get nothing.
I'm sitting there. Like what? like is speaking Spanish code switching?
Speaking Spanish could be code switching, right? Learning another language could be code switching. And this is you know, one of the things we need to focus on right here. Like that's a spot on question. Is learning another language code switching? Okay, well, all those things we just described, all those things in the comments are just like trying to speak the language. So is that job language? You know how they say I got interview voice, white speak, right?
White face. Right, yeah, right. All that's there.
You know, wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, but learning it, and all of these things help, right? Because if you learn Spanish, you know, then you can go to places and habla español.
Yo, they don't even give you for what, like a why you are doing this. Like they just saying just the fact that you're doing it.
Nope.
It's code switching. Like not for the benefit to get more money,
Right.
to get more resources, or to get across the street, or to find
Survive.
directions. Survive. They're like nothing. Like they like it's
nothing.
That's nothing. That's such a strange. Wow.
Okay.
Like it should almost not even be in a dictionary with that definition.
Then, but I'm glad it is, because if it wasn't, then it would just be another meaning thing that everybody puts to something that can't be properly applied. It would just be a meaning thing.
That's true too.
And we already have this. We already have this confusion in communication because everybody has these different meanings. Well, that's not what it means to me. What it means to me is blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, well, all right, let's take away your meaning of it and let's take away my meaning of it. And let's go and define it. And then we go define it. Let's agree to meet here at the definition so that way we can both be on an equal playing field. Now, the only way that the communication is going to become more confusing is if we are now trying to argue each other's interpretation. Then we never gonna solve the problem
at all.
We never gonna get to a solution.
Facts.
It's just gonna be talking in circles, right? And people do this. Well, you said so and so and so and so. Well, you said so and so and so and so. Well, you said so and so and so and so. Well, you said so and so and so. Well, you said this. Well, you said that. Well, you said this. Well, you said that. Okay, so if we both can agree that we both said something, right? If we can both agree that we both didn't appreciate, value which each other said, then now we have a roadmap. If we need to determine understanding of it. Where if you don't understand what was communicated, then now ask for understanding. Well, what did you mean by that? Because I'm interpreting it like this. Okay, ask for clarification. Okay, well, now that gives the other party an attempt to be able to be more articulate, choose their words carefully, put a little bit more thought into their communication. So that way the other party on the other end can receive it because they asked for understanding. They asked for clarification. But that's two people trying to get to a solution.
Correct. Yo, God, I went to learning another language like speaking Spanish or Creole, but I'm looking at this and when I think about dialect, I think about all of the summers and time I spent down south, right? And how Brooklyn was super heavy and thick in my tone uh on the bus down there, but on the bus back, I was sounding real southern.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like it, um and not even necessarily trying to sound like them, but just being around and becoming friends and becoming part of the environment, those those words and those that etiquette becomes part of me
The
or becomes
dialect.
the dialect becomes part of you, right?
Right.
Even if it's just for a time, like you've earned that dialect if you've been around or what a little bit, right? Like
Hell
you
yeah. But it's
right.
about surviving too, though, right? Remember that
But
survival.
exactly, it's all about
Okay.
because you don't want to be the standout.
Well, you're gonna be the standout
Yeah, but
because somebody gonna give you a
for a
nickname,
not for a negative reason. No, you don't want to be a standout.
but
Like
you're
yo,
gonna get the nickname anyway.
that's true.
You're gonna get the nickname anyway. If it's just like I
Still get
moved to,
Brooklyn, still
yeah,
get black.
I moved to Atlanta at
Yeah,
15 years old.
yeah.
So it don't matter what, it don't matter what I had going on. You know, they was calling me New York. I'm like, I ain't even from New York, bro.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, a New York person to laugh at that shit. Like, Pearl ain't never sound like he was from New York. You see what I'm saying? But they'd be like, hey, New York. And I just
That
went
is
with it.
funny. That is funny because they associate a certain demeanor to an area, right? And that's not necessarily real reality, right? Because you associate a look to hip hop and hip hop coming from coming from New York, assume everything that look like that is that,
I
and
just
nah,
went with it. I just went with it. You know, but you have to learn the language though.
you do.
You have to learn the dialect, you know, in order for you to understand what's being said around you in order to survive. Because slang ain't like slang was different back in the day than the way it is now. See, all the rappers use the same slang, unless they coming from like certain places, like maybe Detroit,
Hmm.
maybe the Bay. They kind of got their own little flavor on things. New Orleans, they got a little flavor on things too. But unless if you listen to rap music from all these places, like you'll be up on it, and they use a lot of the same stuff. Um, just like bruh was not something that everybody say. Now everybody, nah, bro, nah, bro, nah, bro. That was
Yeah,
always New Orleans.
yeah.
They was always bruh. Like so now everybody's saying, bro, hey, bro, hey, bro, hey, bro. You know, so learning the language, like where you at, like you gotta, I like even so because I live all up and down the East Coast, right? So shawty, you got New York shorty,
Facts.
Jersey shorty,
Hmm.
right? You get to DC shawty,
Mm-hmm.
Little saying it's saying a little bit shouty,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get to Atlanta, shout,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you picking up all them things. You like, wow, you know. And then in between, everybody got kind of like their own version, you know. So and then you go down to like South Florida, and then it's like a little bit, you know what I'm
That's what I
saying?
was about to say.
You know, like it's a whole different,
Yeah. That's what I was
you know, it's a whole different lingo. Then you gotta, you know. So that's why I always have embraced our cultures, because I know that it changes from state to state, you know. And then there's some people who just got a mix because it's a melting pot. They getting it all
Yeah.
from the north, all from the south, all
Yeah.
from maybe the Midwest too, you know. It's so they're gonna have a mix of it, you know. But no matter what, when everybody go to that job, they got to go in there and pronounce their name correctly. They got to go in there and act like, you know, that they paid attention in English class.
Otherwise, like your boss is gonna be calling your name crazy, and you're gonna be answering to that dumb shit because you want to talk like you have marbles in your mouth. Right?
Yeah, they not gonna have you. Like, this joker can't even talk. I mean, in certain jobs, you know, lower paying retail positions, you know, I'm sure to be plenty available. But and we need people in those, you know, that don't need to really talk a whole lot anyway. But
If you're in communications,
yeah, if you're trying to get some paper though, you're gonna have to, you know, use a bit more of your ability to be able to communicate. So we got Cheese that said switching is just used to hide your level of education and the environment you came out of. Switching is used to hide your level of education in the environment you came out of. That's interesting. What you think about that, guy?
that's that survival. So the second part is definitely the survival mode section, like the hide the environment you came out of, right? Because if you came out of poverty and came out of the projects, and you go someplace completely different to actually do something completely different, to be something completely different, you kind of want to leave that there, right? You don't want to necessarily go look for the projects in your new area, right? You don't want to be steered in that direction. So you might want to, you know, not necessarily hide that, but steer clear from the Negroes.
Stand clear of the Negroes.
Closing doors.
Closing doors. All aboard.
uh, like the switching up the level of education. I'm not sure, but I understand what that is.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back
Yeah,
to it real quick. We are prejudiced by our name, then appearance, lastly, how we talk. They created Ebonics to understand our hood lingo. Yeah, they definitely put the name on it. They definitely titled it. I don't know who titled it. We, you know, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson too. He passed not too
rest in
long
peace,
ago.
Jesse Jackson.
He did create the name African American. For people who don't know that, that's a little history fact about Jesse Jackson. Um, and that's why everybody's running around calling themselves African Americans today. So if nobody thanked Jesse Jackson for you know, the new name change for the whole race of people in America, black people in America, there you go. But we are
That,
prejudiced by our
that's
own name.
significant though. That real quick, I'm sorry. That name thing that the ancestor Jesse Jackson did was significant because before that we was literally boy, Negro, colored, right? Like we went through a whole bunch of different slew of whatever, however somebody wanted to refer to us, and almost by law, common law, most likely, we had to respond and react to it. right?
Yeah, it was check the box.
Check
if you wanted employment, then you were checking Negro or colored. Yeah, you were checking it. Yeah.
No matter how you felt about it or how you
Yeah.
felt inside, right? I am somebody, Negro, black, right? So yeah,
Absolutely.
so it was significant.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep. So, we gotta always pay homage to the elders. But let's go ahead and jump into our second question of the evening. Have you ever experienced code switching, and what was the outcome?
Yeah. I'm still alive was the outcome.
I'm
Um,
still
I,
alive.
I didn't go to prison. I didn't get shot. Didn't get tased. When I get pulled over by the police, my interactions with law enforcement, I strive for them to be as quick as possible. Right. So if it's nighttime, my lights are on, windows roll down, um, and I'm prepared for this interaction to get my ticket or to get the hell on. Right. Like I don't take the time to stand on my square and argue with the police about how he's wasting or he or she is wasting my time or wasting their time when they literally at work.
When they at work, right?
This is all their time.
That's all. That's what they out there to do, right?
They literally out here to do this right here. Right? So how can I, right? Because I'm pissed off, but I don't want to let them know I'm pissed off, and now we got to have this conversation. Oh, what's wrong with you? You make a face. Can I have my ticket, please? All right, am I free to go? Um, like, uh, like, like you gotta survival mode, right? You got to get safe. So that's my thing. Where I think about where I code switch at. Like when it comes to work, to be honest with you, I don't know, God. Like I'm torn, but so looking at the definition, maybe I have to accept it, right? Because the way that you phrased it and placed it into locations and sections where for the environment, like you have to have professional speech, right? You cannot answer your work phone like, yo, what up? This Ali, right? Like you can't do that, and especially if there's a script for how you're supposed to answer the phone.
Hell yeah, you can't answer the duty phone. Yo, what's up? You can't answer the duty phone. Yo, what's up?
Like, but at the same time, I don't even know why you would even want to do that in the first place. So I'm having a hard time accepting that professional speak as code switching from the survival mode aspect. I just look at it as like this is how these people want you to answer their phone, right?
Yeah, this is the requirement.
This is the requirement.
Yeah.
Um, I've never, I don't think I've oftentimes not said what I wanted to say, right? But I've never um agreed happily with something I didn't agree with for the sake of survival at work. Um, I found a way to excuse myself. I don't want to do that shit.
I get that.
But yeah, definitely, God. That's my thing with the police. I don't argue. I don't fuss and fight. I want that interaction to be as quick and painless as possible. Um, and at work, I guess I don't say everything I want to say, right? And I guess that's a form of code switching, right? Because I don't for survival, right? Because I want to keep my job, right? I gotta.
Is that tact? Is that using tact? Is
Mm,
tact part of code switching?
is tact part of code switching? We gotta look up tact. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Mm.
Because when I think about tact, I think about like niceties and being nice. Um, that whole, like, you know how you say it's not what you said, but how you say it. Like to me, that sound like tact, and and that sounds like it's questionable, right? Because your ears just might be soft and corny, right? Like your ears just might be Mrs. Butterworth soft, right? Like it's just like you just might be sensitive, and the fact that I'm just not agreeing with you might sound harmful and hurtful to you.
Because I just won't let you do whatever you want to do to me.
To me, right? To
Right, to
me,
me, right? Like I
I
ain't
don't care
even
what you
doing
do
the
to
same
you.
shit to you. You know what I'm saying? Like do that shit to yourself, but don't do that shit to me.
Not
Right.
to me,
But it
God.
says, tact, a keen sense of what to do or say in order to maintain good relations with others or avoid offense. And
Yes,
some
that's
people,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's like when you say,
Tact is
I
way
I
better than
don't I
nice.
don't have a I don't have a kind, right? Because we know what nice is. Nice is,
Yeah, fake.
nice, yeah, nice is fake,
Yeah,
but kindness, you
kindness
know,
is kindness. Yeah,
right? And Keen is saying, look, I want to maintain a good relationship. Are we in a bad place? And if so, how did we get there? And that's what you're doing. You're being tactful to
tactful.
avoid offense. But then if the other person say, fuck you, blah, 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 you this, you
Ooh,
that, and all that, then it's just like, oh, you want smoke. Why the fuck do you want smoke?
because I'm not about to keep hugging you while you punching me in my face.
Because I'm not about to keep hugging you while you punching me in my face. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not about to hug you while you in fighting stance.
I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to fuck with you no more in life, period, because
Fuck yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
it's super quick, bro.
yeah, like, because I done already did that shit too much in my life. You know what I'm
Way
saying?
too much,
Like, I done
guys.
already did it too much in my life already. Like, I'm twice your age, and somebody don't have you respecting your elders. You know, somebody telling you fuck your elders, fuck people saying that's trying to give you, that's trying to maintain a good relationship and avoid offense. You know, because you prefer fucking and fighting, fighting and fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we don't do all that, man. We don't do all that. So, have I ever experienced code switching, and what was the outcome? Absolutely. Um, Shout out to the police story too, um, because I'm a big fan of making sure that you give respect first. And one of the key things, I think we had this conversation offline, um, is when you're dealing with law enforcement, you have to understand that one, they doing their job. That's what they out there to do. All right. So they could be picking on you. So the fuck what? All right. They could be racially profiling, all that.
They got 8 to 12 hours to do that.
But what we need to realize is that from what we have seen, the history, the culture in America, is if you get shot and killed by a police officer, you're dead. Forget about the family and everybody else where they was wrong, and if they get prosecuted or if you're dead. You're gone. So you over already. You're done. No more later on that day, no more later on that hour, no more later on that year, no more birthdays, bar mitzvahs, celebrations, parties, nothing. You done. So I always give respect first before anybody can say that I ever did some fucked up shit to them. Ask them what did they do to me, and was I respectful first? Okay. But when it comes to law enforcement, I'm giving respect. I'm code switching because I know this person is a human being. Something could be happening with their kids, something could be happening in their relationship. Who knows what the fuck they brought to work with them?
Who knows?
Who knows? But I do know one thing. If I fuck up, I could be dead. And then everything else is done for me. So to all them busters out there that ever tried to call the police on me, that's why that shit don't work. Cause I've been shot, I've been here. I made it through this shit. You know, I've been dealing with it. And that's why I even called the police and said they was fucked up. That's how much integrity I have when it comes to dealing with the police, where I will call the police and say, hey man, y'all lied. Y'all did some fucked up shit. And I was being forthcoming with y'all. You know, I ain't lie. When you asked me what was going on, I was being honest and telling the truth. So why you come over here with some bullshit? You got a bias. But I already understand you got a gun. So I can't take. So what do we say offline? That's what the courts is for.
Hell yeah.
You see?
That's the appropriate place to argue.
That's the appropriate. It ain't to argue with you out in the street. See, the Negro will argue with the police in the street and end up dead. Right or wrong from the police officer's action. But we got to understand that once it happens, you're dead. So you got to maintain self-control. And you got to understand this ain't the place to argue this shit. You got to be intelligent, smart, because you wear this skin. You know, so definitely, like I was saying, the situation with code switching, you know, just being in my military capacity, God, you know, just like that situation I was talking about with Sean, where I was at that unit and, you know, I had been at other units where, you know, it was a lot of racist shit going on that you can't, you know, that you have to just kind of keep your head down and just, you know, push through. So when I get to this new unit, you know, my work ethic is my work ethic. My work ethic ain't never been a problem. But people realize you're not being social, you know, and they want to know, like, why you not being social? It's because, you know, people be fucked up. And when you got trust issues, you don't know who the fuck you could trust, man. And you'd rather be play it safe. Like, I just don't got time because I'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying?
And
so
I can't really afford that.
And I can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may can afford to get fucked up, but I can't afford to fuck you up.
Can't really afford that.
So I have to do what I've been doing to sustain me here, you know, to sustain me in this body, in this space in life as a person, you know, is I have to maintain self-control and understand, like, okay, you gotta move different, you know. But that what came out of that was some very positive relationships, you know, long lasting. And I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate it for having the wisdom to know that I needed to do something different, that I need to conduct myself different in order to have a more positive result. You know, because some people, you know, just dummies. They do the same shit over and over again and expect to get a different result, like thinking somebody going, you know, or bullies. And I'll be like, and if you're not a Trump type bully, if you ain't ready to put somebody's name on the list and go kill, then stop the fucking perpetrate faking the fraud with your weak ass. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna do shit.
Trump don't bluff.
And Trump don't bluff. You bluffing. You the big bluff. That's all. Big bluff. Ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing but what see I call 50 Cent of what bully. You know what I'm saying? You try to do shit, and then as soon as somebody pick on you, now you crying like Karen. Now you Karen.
Now you carrying on.
You know that weak ass shit. Fuck up out of here, man. So that was the outcome. And moving to our third question: does code switching only apply to Black Americans? If so, why? Does it only apply to Black Americans?
No. It applies to everybody, right? Especially with what we've been talking about. When we think about professional settings, politicians code switch all day, every day to us, right? Like they go from city to city, constituency to constituency, and they talk to those people the way that they think those people want to be talked to, right? It's would you say pandering is the same as code switching? Because that's
No, I'm not gonna say pandering because
maybe that's because
pandering's lying.
So is pandering lying? Like that's not just.
Let's look at we on a show about words. That's what we do. Let's look up pandering. I think a synonym of pandering is lying or being false, perpetrating, faking and shit. To say, do, or provide what someone wants or demands, even though it's not good, proper, or reasonable.
And that's what politicians do.
You know, where they say a lot of stuff.
That's what I'm saying, right?
You know, that's not good. I mean, well, like if we still on Trump, he done said some stuff or did some stuff that people have said is not good, not proper, not reasonable, right? If we gonna take an example from somebody right now, just to, you know, to use, I mean, it's other people,
and he has a lot of people that agree with the things that he's saying and doing, that supports and promotes that stuff, right? Like they voted for him.
So he's not pandering to them.
He's not. Is he? Isn't he though? Well, no, he wouldn't be pandering to them if he's already like that. I think.
Well, not good, proper, or reasonable, and then they have etc. So, you know, see, what's not good is left up to the person, because just like we saying, we're not putting a negative or anything on code switching, right? But what you have is like, that's what we was talking about like before, and now we can go into that. Typically I've seen in the African American culture, all right, you will have Black people that make fun of other Black people who are articulate, and they'll say, you know, that you know, you in white, what is it, white voice,
white speak,
mm-hmm. You know, or he talk like he white, you know, or she talk like she white, and then they'll automatically put that to that person thinks they're better than that person, you know. So it's like, so what is that? Is that your insecurity because you stuck on Negro, you know, or because you don't want to advance beyond that, because you don't value effective communication, because you don't value trying to be something better than some shit you seen on TV trying to emulate, you know, what people don't, because you don't want to be better than, you know, and I hate to punch down on this shit, but it's raggedy though, like love and hip hop, you know, some of the rap music, you know, with the chicks who got no class at all, you know what I'm saying? But they think because they got money, they got class. Nah, but they just look like some real, you know, made up hood boogers, you know, and you know, some really dressed well hood boogers, you know, and some of that shit ain't even dressed well. It's just, and some slapped on some designers, you know, and even some of the fellas too, you know. So they'll now demonize the black person who is, clean cut, well spoken, takes pride in speaking articulately all the time. It won't be, oh, that's our little cousin right there who sound white. She thinks she white. But
What about the white friend or the white coworker or even if the hip hop, right? Like the people that come to the barbecue in real life, or the people who go to the who come from a country western background but prefers the hip hop community and prefers to interact with, like, those. That's why I say, like, I don't think it's limited to just black people, because I would imagine, like, unless everybody else is allowed to adjust and we're not.
okay, well, this is my own experience, right? In the military, I've had groups where it's just all brothers, all the brothers,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And then we got one white guy.
Hmm.
Okay, shout out to Richie in
Hmm.
LA, in California. That was shout out to Travis in Miami. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Like, because I always have a diverse crowd, especially in the military. I wasn't never one of them people where it's like, if you because of your complexion or where you from, okay, if you cool with Pearl, then we rocking, you know. And like I've been on that. If you're a good human, if I deem you to be a good human,
Yeah.
you know, then we can rock. I don't care if you gay. I don't care if, like I said, I don't never care who nobody's screwing. They ain't none of my business.
Unless it's a child,
You
or
know?
by
Yeah,
force.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want some p file shit, like, yeah, I might catch a case.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I always looked at it like them guys never used the N word. All right. Them guys never, but because they listen to hip hop, because they listen to rap music, their language was still, but the thing about it was, like, when we got to work, we was still talking the same. So I couldn't say, like, oh, now we at work, you talking white to a white boy, you know? Like, I couldn't say that because I'm having, even if we're standing there having a conversation and it's work related, we're engaging in the same type of dialogue. We're using the same nomenclatures, we're using the same, you know, everything, because it's required for us to have effective communication, you know, when we there. If we out and we on Libo and we chilling, and he like, hey dog, pass me the whoop whoop. I know what the fuck the whoop whoop is to pass him, you know?
Would Okay, I understand Travis at work and outside of work, but would Travis or Ryan, I think that was the guy name. I apologize if it wasn't. Would they say pass me the whoop whoop,
Richie. Yeah.
Richie, to their moms or to their little brother, or would they, or
I never.
are they only saying yo 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 pass me the whoop whoop because you understand what whoop whoop is? And that's what I mean by the code
I
switching,
don't
right? Because
know.
they come from a specific, a particular cultural experience. However, they prefer to interact and be around a different or another cultural experience, and when they get around for their safety, right, they speak the way that the locals speak, so that they don't look strange and somebody do something, like, it's like, that's what I mean. Like, so at work, I understand Richie and you guys at work. I understand Richie and you guys at the club.
Right,
But
right.
what about Richie with grandma now?
I don't know.
At,
Richie wife is black, and Travis' wife is a Latina. So I don't know. But I would say this. if I ever was around their family and I just smelt the hint of some funny shit, I'm gonna call them. I ain't gonna
Right
call them
there.
not on the spot. I ain't gonna do it to them in front of their family. But you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yeah, you got mighty white there, then
Yeah,
boy.
right.
You got mighty white there. You know, so and they gonna laugh at that shit, and but
And that's what I mean by that's why I'm answering the question and saying no, it's not limited to just us because I don't know it to be true, but I feel it in my heart that that's true, right? Even though they got black wives and Latino wives, right? Like, how often does the family interact with those wives, and are they happy to do it?
yeah, that's too much for me to be,
Nah, I'm just no, I'm
yeah.
just saying, right? Like that to me, that's like, is
That
that
would be the things to throw into the pot to try to get the analysis.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would we will have to measure those things
and
to
that's a
be
lot.
able to be accurate
That's a lot to
in
measure.
their case,
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know. But
Yeah,
but I do agree that I don't think that we are the only ones who code switch.
yeah.
You know,
I
I
don't
just think that we have the biggest problem with it because
accepting it, right?
right, because we demonize each other for having the ability to communicate better, and that's where there's a problem at,
Yeah, look up,
because
pull
it's
up.
not viewed
Yeah,
as that. It's not viewed as it's, oh, this old good talking ass nigga,
yeah.
right?
That's exactly how it's viewed.
That's how it's viewed.
Right, and that negative growly tone and that, like, yeah, I should go rob his ass. Let's go punch him in the face, show him he ain't really that. He ain't nothing. Yo, pull up EL Henderson's thing. Code switching is a superpower. Like that's the thing, right? Like, we don't see it as a superpower at all,
Code
right?
switching
We
is a
100% only see
superpower.
it.
If you are culturally connected to yourself, language is just a tool of communication. Mastering it is a luxury.
Like, that's all true,
Shout out
right?
to that.
Right, because that's what the other cultures and ethnicities know. Like, they know. Like, you remember traveling overseas, guy, and you'll go to a place and you see children, or just people or whatever, and they speak multiple languages fluently, but the languages and dialects that they speak are of their neighbors, right?
Absolutely.
So they have the ability to talk to everybody from different countries or however it's laid
Yes.
out, right? Like,
Yes.
the code switching per
Yeah.
per the definition, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and it was encouraged and required for business and for to do trade and transactions, right? So here we don't have that. Like, everybody's encouraged to speak English, and black people are taught that we only speak English because of slavery, and we are permanent victims because we were slaves, and therefore, uh yo, good talking ass Negro, like, who's that nigga on that there, um looking like a free man and shit, like how come he get to be free, boss? What about me?
Right. Why is he think he's so smart, or she thinks she's so smart because you're able to, because you won't deny yourself to what
Yeah,
EL say, you won't deny yourself the privilege of mastering the language
yeah,
and communication, you
yeah.
know, because you're saying, I don't want to be stuck on niggerdom.
Nah.
I don't see that working. Matter of fact, I only see that working in some portion for rappers. So the rappers will talk all that, all that foolishness and all that niggotry. And then what they'll do is they will they will be like, okay, well, because I heard Lil Flip say this. Lil Flip said you gotta know how to code switch. So and then you know, then you'll hear him bust a freestyle. Shout out to the freestyle king, right? And it won't be anything proper. But then when you listen to what he's articulating, right now, I mean, the rhyme would be good.
Yeah. But
you know, but it won't be anything proper, right? It won't be anything that he would take into a boardroom to do a deal with a large company.
Correct.
You know,
won't say none of those words.
None of those words will be in his dialect.
Correct.
In dialogue.
Correct.
You know, and when he's exchanging, you know, the communication to be able to close that deal or secure that bag, whatever it is, you know. So it's value in that. But we don't value it as a whole. Here go Cheesemo said, I got teased for talking proper. And that's the thing that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, who's he teased? He had to be teased by his peers, by family members. You know, people close to you, or people that you are around within your community who don't possess it, who envy it, instead of, you know, it's that same thing where it's like people get jealous of what you got instead of asking you, how did you get that?
Correct.
They look and see it and then be jealous, you know.
They don't even want it, they want yours.
Right. They don't want to get it. They want yours.
He said, my uncles. You ain't lying.
He said, Ali uncles.
I just went through. I just came back.
You know, and that's a problem.
It is. It's, I got finished. I was building a whole week. I'm like, yo, we got to change, right? Like, because we don't like the negative things and the negative traumatic things that we haven't healed from. So we gotta allow ourselves to be better. And if talking proper, giving each other assistance, like real deal, bro. I just got finished watching my cousins and them laugh at another one of my cousins having a tough time parking in the snow. Right, like he was having a hard time parallel parking, and instead of giving directions, like in a pleasant, you know, let's get this man out of traffic, we gonna make fun of him, right? We're gonna like, you brand new to this, like, you know, it's so yeah, Cheese ain't lying, you know.
Absolutely. So that moves us to our fourth question: should code switching be encouraged or avoided, and why? Let us know in the chat, y'all, or in the comments below, depending on when you're watching the show.
Based off the definition and definitely the spin that EL put on it, encouraged. And even what I said about when you see the young child that's able to speak 5 different languages, that's able to communicate to 5 different other people, that's able to do business with 5 different completely different people all together, right? Like that's something that's powerful.
That's powerful, right?
Right, because I ain't never not once seen somebody see that and say, show off. I've only ever seen somebody see that demonstration and be enamored and in awe of their ability to do that, not realizing that they doing this for survival because of their surroundings, right? Like they need to be able to speak 5 different languages, right? So we see it as something to talk about and to be in awe of, but that's so lame. Like it's like we need to see the necessity and the effectiveness of that skill set and get on board. Right. Like I think it should definitely be encouraged, and that's why. So we can make more money, build our resources up.
I agree with that. Make more money, build our resources. You know, America's education system does not promote learning another language, like making it necessary.
Nope.
So they require us, you know, at least when I was coming up through grade school, They require us to take these history classes, and they require us to take these English classes and these math classes. But foreign language is optional after like a year or two. I think like maybe in 9th grade, you have to take it just to satisfy, or maybe in something like that. But at least that was the curriculum when I was coming through. We only needed like 1 year to satisfy. I think I took it in 9th and 10th, but I think I took it in 10th grade because I failed it in 9th because I was skipping. But but one thing that I always said, like if we could do a perfect revamping, like if we could revamp the education curriculum, that I would love to see a curriculum in America where the child is given a language for the parents to pick, okay, at like kindergarten, 1st grade, something like that, 1st grade, kindergarten. All right, whenever after they learn the ABC, but they should be learning the ABCs before they even get to school, right? So I mean, Head Start, pre-K, you learn all that stuff before you get to school. So
sitting on
right,
mama's lap.
right. Yeah, somebody, an elder, whoever's there with you, supposed to be doing that, right? Daycare, whoever it is, right? So what that would encourage is that would encourage now the things like you were saying to be more vast in and have the ability to participate in more business, to communicate on more levels, all right, to be more sociable, all right. But then it would also have the whole family learning.
Facts.
Because what happens is now you get this homework, and this homework is for 12 years. So when you come home, it's like, okay, in order to do this for the baby, all right, then we're going to have to label everything in the house in whatever this language is, right? So now you going around the house too, and you reading this stuff. And you see how that has an effect where the whole family gets to grow in this new language.
Yeah.
And gets to foster that environment for the child.
Yeah. I agree 100%, God, and to use the argument with the young child overseas, right? Like to your point, like those people speak languages because they are encouraged to do business with other people. Here in this country, the idea is we got 50 states. So
right.
I just really got to do business with New Jersey or California at best. We're not even thinking about Mexico or Canada. So in my mind,
French Canada.
That's what I'm saying. At my mind, at the very least, we should be speaking English, Mexican Spanish or whatever, and French, Canadian French or whatever, right? Yeah. Like at the very least, just because we are connected to those different groups, and we may need to go north or south, so we should be able to communicate with our neighbors,
right? And being limited to one language puts you at a disadvantage, definitely when it comes to commerce.
100%.
Because you need an interpreter.
That might not be on your side.
That may not be, that you have to develop trust in.
Yeah.
And then what do you gauge from that? So we're gonna check out some of these tweets real quick. I mean, some of these comments real quick. We got EL. Shout out to EL Henderson, man. 7147 in the building. We need to teach. Yes, we do. The strangest part about the code is that we created the most complex code that they are still decoding to this day. Definitely encouraged to the utmost, for sure.
Yeah. Gotta be encouraged.
For sure. So, but definitely on the question, it definitely should be encouraged because you have to code switch. Like it's not even, it's that negative way that we've said that even in the chat, like Cheese was talking about, being teased. That's one. This disgust that people who strive to only communicate on a, an ignorant level. Like that. We making up words. An ignorant level. Let me know if y'all like that right there. Should we add that to the Ebonics dictionary right there?
That shit right over.
An ignorant level. People only want to communicate on an ignorant level. And they get mad. They get mad at other people who possess the ability to communicate with some of those things that we were discussing, as far as like, oh, he talk white, she talk white. They think they using big word. Oh, you using big words. Like, I don't know these big words. Or he's so articulate. Or you talk, he talking ass, know how to talk ass. It's like sorry, I didn't get stuck on dumb jock for you.
His vowels and consonants in order.
Yeah, like what I was supposed to be stuck on dumb jock for you.
Nah, man. Word. You feel me?
Or I'm just supposed to be stuck on ignorant. Like, nah, like I don't desire. I have those people that I have those conversations with. New people, we're not having them type of conversations. If you're a new person and I just met you, or what I'm saying, like, we're not going to be talking like that. So if you're not going to be able to have white speak with me, then I already got my ignorance. And what I'm saying, I'm cool with that. I need white speak. I need black people in white face. My new friend base got to be black people in white face.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, I the only thing, Harry Belafonte said that, we quick to call each other sellouts, but if you in business, the number one thing that you want to be is sold out.
Yep.
Because that means when people come to your store or your place of business, all of your merchandise has been sold, and now they are on a waiting list to spend more money with you. So you got to understand what sold out is, instead of always trying to apply it to things to make yourself feel bigger or better when you just stuck in ignorance. So should code switching be encouraged or avoided, and why? Yes, it should be encouraged. And we just explained to y'all why. Let us know in the comment section what y'all think down below or in the live chat. And yeah, at this point of the show, we're going to go ahead and jump into our flavor bombs for March 1st, 2026.
Pisces, stand up.
Yeah, it is. It's Pisces season. It's also
it is Pisces season right now.
It's Pisces season right now. Act like y'all know better. The best month.
The best
month. Next to Black History. That's why it's next to Black History Month. See, all the rest of y'all just get birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Well, we get to go from Black History Month right into Pisces season to the spring solstice. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, son. Like, come on, God.
Well, we love some of y'all too, though. We love y'all too, though.
Yeah.
We love y'all too, though. But it is also Women's History Month. So we definitely shout out to Bubble and Brown. Bubble and Brown are Pisces too. Okay, shout out to Bubble and Brown, Pisces in the building. It's your birthday. What's your number one zodiac sign?
Only if you're a Pisces, though.
Only if you're a Pisces, though, right? All the ugly people in the crowd be quiet. You know. So we got the Flavor Bombs presented to you by DBCHEFTV. All right, y'all. So we're going to take y'all first to a fertility clinic in Florida. Did what? What did they do? Oh, man. Y'all going to love this one. Wow. Okay. Then we got some Navy sailors arrested with gang ties. They in uniform talking about gang. We got to do better. Then we got police seize $150 million in a gold scam. And then, as y'all know, we are now in a conflict with Iran because I don't think that Congress approved of a war based on how wars are supposed to be congressionally delegated. But so far, the last time before we did the show, we heard that 3 U.S. service members had passed away and become casualties in this conflict with Iran. And we're going to go check that out. We want to send some love and prayers to the family and also to all of the service members that are currently out there right now. We love y'all. Be safe. Please make it home. Please make it home. We love y'all. We don't, we know how it go. When you sign up for it, it come with the turf.
You signed up for it, but rest in power to the fallen, for real.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and jump into these flavor bombs.
All new tonight, a fertility mix-up has now become a huge legal battle.
Whoa. Whoa.
Just wanted to go ahead and drop that right there for a minute before we get too deep into it.
Hell nah.
Before we deep into it, do you think they'll teach their baby the code switch? Do you think they'll have a problem with that baby code switching?
They ain't put that baby up for adoption? They kept that baby?
What?
Oh, man. Yo, son.
He said they put it up for adoption. You bad. You terrible, girl. You said that. You terrible, girl. You said they ain't put the baby up for adoption. She gave birth to that baby.
Ooh, that's
She
crazy.
carried that baby.
That's her baby.
She carried that baby.
Look at his face. Look at his face. That's her baby for real. Man. Oh, man. So is that supposed to be his? You play the play, guys.
So many questions. This shit is real life, y'all. Why it's a war going on, this type of shit really happening out here. This shit crazy.
Battle, and it may get even bigger. This couple goes from Central Florida. This all goes back to a couple from Central Florida who gave birth to a child that was not theirs after a mix-up at a fertility clinic. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm John Brown.
Good evening. I'm Luann Sorrell. Fox 35's Bailey Bockover is joining us live here in the studio tonight. So, Bailey, that couple is back in court now claiming that facility is withholding information.
That's right. Yeah, the hearing just wrapped up about 90 minutes ago. Attorneys for the clinic argued that the fertility clinic is keeping them in the dark. The couple already knows the child they birthed in December is not genetically theirs. Now they say they found a lead that the clinic hasn't fully disclosed. In a new emergency motion, the couple's attorney says the clinic's records show a chaotic labeling system, handwriting patients' names on the tiny straws used to store embryos.
At that time, they're outside of their labeled straws and they are in petri dishes and they are in the lab. It makes the most sense that that is where a switch could have happened.
The motion states, noting that beyond the straws, the second switch could have been with labeling. That system has narrowed the couple's search for truth down to specific groups. Attorney Circe Denny argued in court.
It appears to us that more likely than not, that retrieval risk pool is the source of the error here.
This motion says women have been coming forward on their own, saying they and their babies may be involved in this heartbreaking mix-up. All of the women coming forward either had embryo transfers on the same day, April 7th, 2025, or had embryos stored the same week as the couple back in 2020. Defense attorney Francis Pierce acknowledged the gravity of the situation, stating,
"There is a small patient population that is involved with the retrievals and an extraordinarily small, population involved with the transfer. And these small patients populations increase the risk of patient identification."
New details in the motion reveal the couple may have found a lead on their own. Part of the motion reads, a woman with a strikingly similar last name who also had a transfer on April 7th contacted the family after seeing their story on the news. A search of the woman's public Facebook page showed a photo of her husband, who the parents say shares a similar complexion to their child. And the couple is asking the clinic for information about a potential match, an Indian couple who had embryos stored at the clinic during that same week in 2020. The couple's legal team emphasized the urgency, stating,
"They have fallen in love with this baby and they love her and want to keep her. They want to know whether there's any reasonable prospect that they can keep her. But they are also very much concerned that there is somebody out there, someone out there who doesn't know that they are raising their genetic child."
Well, the judge has ordered the clinic to provide specific answers by Monday, ruling there's no reason the number of patients in storage without identification can't be released.
There you have it, God. They are raising this child. And they love the baby. They love the baby.
So it's neither one of their kids. It's neither one of their kids. I was being funny earlier when I was like, they didn't put the baby up for adoption, but I'm low key happy that the baby's still alive. Like, because normally is mommy's baby, daddy's maybe kind of thing, but that's not even mommy's baby, right? Like,
but I think it is, because when you take
she was just a surrogate almost, the way they made that sound.
They in vitro. That was in vitro. That was a fertility clinic.
Yeah, but the way they made it seem like they took a whole nother process and just put it inside her and was like, yo, so you raising the Patel baby. Now you just gonna carry that baby to term. Like that's the way I understood that. Because they made it seem like that child was not genetically related to neither one of those people at all. Like, so it's not even the father in that egg or the mother's egg and another person's sperm. It was a whole nother complete process that they picked up, copied, and pasted over here. And
so they gave her an egg. So is that what you getting from it? That they gave her an egg and they gave her a fertilized egg, basically.
That's how I understood that.
I didn't get that as they gave her a fertilized egg.
Hey, chat, what y'all got? Like, what y'all
think? What y'all think in the chat? Because I got from that they gave her the seed, but they mixed up. They mixed up the vibe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. They gave her the wrong one.
Yeah, but that would make the child her child though.
Yeah.
But they saying that child is not genetically related to neither one of them. I think that's what I heard.
Nah, they just saying they raising somebody else's child because it ain't because it's obviously a black baby. look, we ain't gonna do that because it's a whole lot of black babies out here that wish they would have had white parents. Then they would have grew up and didn't even need the code switch
at all. They'd have just been doing it.
No, this is the way we spoke at home. Okay, at home.
This is what I know to be correct.
Look, an Indian baby. That's a little black baby. That beautiful little baby. You said they ain't put it up for adoption yet. No, you didn't hear the attorney say we love it. They love that baby.
They fell in love with that.
They love our
And
child.
that part threw me off too, because I'm saying if they fell in love with this baby, why they even bringing this up, right? Because what happens if
You
the
didn't
other?
see the photo op? That photo
I did
op
see
is
that,
$1 million right there. Just like
but what I don't know, man. I'm thinking like, what if they find a genetic baby and they say I want my baby too, and they want to keep both babies?
then they gonna swap. Then they do baby swap.
Nah, what if they want to
somebody-
use they complexion, the protection of their complexion, because we fell in love with this baby and we didn't do nothing wrong, that we want to keep this baby and we want our genetic baby back too.
So we want our white baby too, and we're gonna keep the black baby for pain and suffering.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
Well, you know what? Shout out to that little black baby having a good, wholesome white home to grow up in.
That's
know
a
what I'm saying?
wild story, God.
For real. Like that shit is wild though.
Wow, God.
That shit is wild. So people, you got to be careful with these fertility clinics, because I don't know if they paid. I don't know how much they paid for that. That sounds like one of them.
Yo, fertility clinics sound like ultimate top tier science to me. Like all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, everything is like
Clearly
right?
not.
Like that's what I imagine it to be, but clearly not.
Bubba Brown said no. The real parents want their Indian baby.
Hell yeah, like especially if you want your white baby, give me my baby.
That's so horrible. That's so horrible. You go through all that to make a child, then you gotta do a baby swap.
You gotta do a baby swap.
After the woman done bonded with the child, because I'm sure she bonded with the child and everything, but she would if the baby was born naturally, it came through her womb. So so that's
but that's just surrogate though. Like that don't necessarily mean that.
Stop it.
No, that's a real
no
thing.
connection.
That's a real thing, God. Like so I do think there's a connection because of the process of the little move, like you got a whole human moving inside you that you got to deal with for those 9 months that you are physically connected to. But I think you are just a air and nutrient supplier. I don't
That's it. You don't think none of your DNA?
Nah, because they got like I think this like surrogate programs, like once they pop out, like you don't see them no more. Like they go off to like you are the stork.
The stork. That's so bad.
That's what I think. I don't know for sure.
That's
but
so bad.
But I do know that surrogates exist, and they do get impregnated with a full egg and seed that's already ready to go, because the mother or the woman might not have the ability to hold the baby or whatever, so they need somebody else to hold the child for them.
Right. I've definitely heard of the surrogacy and all that. But I'm just like, man, like they up there, like they, Christmas pictures, that look like that look like a Hallmark, classic right there. Like they need to put that one on the shelves, and you just going. They need to put that in the cards. We got the cards now. They got everything. We got the LGBT cards. We got the non-gender cards. We got the black heritage cards. You know what I'm saying? Like just the mix, the blended family. Is that not that's not a blended family? Is that would not be? Bring home your blended family for the holidays.
That would be the mistaken family.
That'd be a mistaken family.
No, not mistaken. The mishap family.
The mishap family. Wow.
The oops family.
That's crazy, though.
That is crazy, God. That's a wild.
That's crazy, man. That's where we at, though. That's what we dealing with out here.
Like real talk, not for nothing. No, I know you about to move on, but the initial thought that I'm sure my man had was like, "Yo, what was you doing out in these streets?" Like his thought process, even though like they
You
went to
think
a
so?
clinic,
You
they went
think
to a clinic. I think he still had some thoughts like maybe you stepped out and that guy got you knocked up.
in the delivery room, you think he was sweating? He was like, "What the?"
Yeah, I think so. So I think he was crying. He was
He like, what?
No, no.
What did you do? They like, sir, hold up. He's like, do you see what the fuck is going on? That's a black baby. Oh my God.
That was wild, God. Oh man.
Yeah. Look, Bubbler Brown said it was a fertility clinic. They just mixed up the vowels. Yeah, like they just mixed up the vowels. Like, you know, like, yeah, we could take just, you know, can you take this back to the kitchen and just my fries are cold. Can you go warm these fries up or give me some new fries? Like they just mixed up the vowels.
That's crazy. God.
Stop it.
Oh man, like that just sounds crazy to me. Like
it ain't that simple.
Like that place sounds like they should be super, you know, dress.
It sounds like they should be out of business. That's what it
100%.
sounds. Yeah, I'm telling, put them out of business.
That's crazy.
You know, they causing traumas before, you know, people trying to have happy families and all that. You know, they probably, when you look at them, they probably work, you know, up in age a little bit. So they already done secured their home and picket fence and, you know, got the little dog and the cat, and you know what I'm saying? They like, yeah, now we're finally in position, you know, because you know, black folks, we just have a kid and struggle. We build it and get the hit, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't you know, it'd be rare when you see a black family like, nah, I'm
prepare.
Yeah, like we gonna prepare. We don't want to be struck. We ain't with the struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't want to be determined in Jordans over, you know,
the light
bills and shit, you know? So that's crazy though. That's crazy, man.
10 people, including 9 active duty Navy sailors, are facing felony charges after nearly year-long investigation. They're accused of a violent assault at a house party in Hamul last year. The Sheriff's Department also says many of them were part of criminal street gangs. NBC7's Dana Williams has details on what happened.
All 10 of those people were at a home on this street in Hamul. The Sheriff's Department says it was rented out for a birthday party on a short-term rental website. Obviously, before the end of the night, it turned violent.
The homeowner notified the sheriff's office that this party was occurring, no longer wanted this party to occur on their property. So they gave us a call, and then that's when the fight broke out, when the victims were assaulted.
The Sheriff's Department says 3 people were hurt, including one who was pistol whipped, hit over the head with a bottle, and punched.
Some of the suspects produced firearms, pointed it at the victim, and by the time deputies got there, we did make 1 arrest that evening, but the majority of the suspects fled.
With the help of NCIS, the 10 people were identified as the following, 9 of which are active duty Navy, and the 10th, the Sheriff's Department says, is prior Navy. Arrests were made on Tuesday at Naval Air Station North Island, Naval Base San Diego, Naval Medical Center San Diego, Naval Weapons Station Seal Beach, and 1 off-base home within City of San Diego limits.
We certainly spare no expense or resource to track the individuals responsible and have them face justice.
Investigators also seized 5 guns and $20,000. They say there is an added element to this, and quote, many of these suspects were associated with criminal street gangs. When asked for clarification on that, they said they're still going through phones and interviewing witnesses, and more details will come out in court. Meantime, a spokesperson for the Navy Region Southwest said in an email in part, quote, individuals are considered innocent until proven guilty, but I can say the Navy will not tolerate sailors actively participating in criminal gang activity. Such behavior and affiliation is contrary to good order and discipline, harmful to unit cohesion, and a violation of the oath of service. The DA's office says this coming Tuesday is when we're going to learn more about this case in court, and the charges will be announced then. From Hamul, I'm Dana Williams, NBC7.
And as far as those charges go, we may not know specifics, but the sheriff's department did say they are facing felony weapon possession and assault charges.
What you got on that, guy?
I didn't understand it, to be honest. Like I thought that the sheriff talk was dangerous and unclear, right? To me, it sounded like he said that there was a house party. They received the phone call. When they got there, a fight broke out, and then all this stuff happened. But then he made it seem like while the officers was on their way, this is when all this stuff happened. And so I'm not sure, like, felony possession of guns and like what did they just had a fight is what happened? Like they had the Airbnb didn't wanted the party to be over. The owner was like, all right, party's over, and then they called the police. And did the fight break out between the party goers, or did the fight break out between the party goers and the homeowners? Like who did the fight break out between for there to be all this stuff and for all this gang member activity? Like I didn't hear anything to make me demonize these, my shipmates. Like I don't know, that shit was weird.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm anti doing dumb shit though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not with that, but I just based on what I just heard, I wasn't clear on what actually happened besides the fight.
Yeah. So me being a knucklehead during part of my career, they had an Airbnb. They rent an Airbnb, and what's going on right now across the country is a lot of young people are renting Airbnbs and they throwing parties. All right, but it's the owners don't want people to throw parties. Like when me and my wife go on vacation, we rent Airbnbs a lot of times. All right, and they always ask you, are you, how many guests, so if you're planning on having something, then you should be forthcoming, so there's been plenty of times I went to South Florida, stayed in Las Olas, got a house, and and then the owners are just like, okay, well, we see you and your wife, and I'm just like, okay, well, I may have like a little cookout, a gathering, and I'll be like, and they'd be like, how many people? And I'll say, okay, well, maybe 8 people. So that's a total of 10 of you. Yeah. And they'd be like, all right, no more than that. But you being forthcoming, you letting people know. A lot of these young people be lying because everybody thinking that finessing is cool,
Scammer talk is the way to be right now.
Yeah. And what happens is in this case, in this situation, I don't know if they lied or not. But I know that is the norm. Okay. They had a party. Probably some neighbors called the homeowner, because that's usually how it happens, because people being loud and unruly. All right. Because it's not theirs, so they don't respect it. So some people won't respect their own shit too, though. But another story. But they being loud and they being unruly. The neighbors call. Because most of the time your neighbors know, if you own a property, your neighbors know that you're renting it out or know that because you're not there, and they know if you're doing an Airbnb because they see multiple people coming and staying there. So they like, oh, they must be Airbnb in it. If you have a talking relationship with your neighbors, then you done probably had a conversation with them like, hey, I'm going to be having, I'm going to be Airbnb, which is a respectable thing to do. Like if you're going to Airbnb your property and you have people who live next to you who can't Airbnb, they can't afford the Airbnb, they got to have home, then respectfully, you're supposed to communicate with them. So that way you could let them know like, hey, it's going to be people coming in and out, so that way, if they got children, it stays respectable because it's strangers coming in and around their kids. you know, and where they sleep at, where they rest.
Correct.
You know, so they call the police. They call the owner. The owner say, nah, y'all ain't tell me y'all was having no party. Call up the person they got the contract. What the fuck is going on? You got a party going on. Come over there. They saucy, right? Shit get in the mix. They put hands and feet on dude. Somebody called the police. Probably neighbors looking out the window like they are whooping his ass. Let's call the police, right? Or somebody was with him. Who knows? Bam, the police come. They break out because they didn't already, you know, put hands and feet. They young people. So now they break out. Now they gone. And the stupid thing is to put the hands and feet on them when you're in the military. Okay? So I'm not going to demonize the young guys. But when you make a dumbass decision, okay, that even has your names or your command being brought up in the news for something other than something honorable, okay, something associated with uplifting, then you bring in a negative energy, a negative stereotype, a negative vibe, one, to your unit. So you're making your unit look bad while your ass was on liberty. Okay. So you lost your discipline, your military bearing. Because the thing about being in the military is your military bearing is on duty and off duty.
That's true.
It's not just when you in uniform and you at work. Okay, you don't just wear the when you're in the military. That ain't no job. You just wear the fuck. That ain't a job, first of all, and that ain't something that you just wear to work and then I'm gonna take this shit off and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna be this gangbanger or this thug or this whatever.
No,
That shit ain't gonna last long. I know. Trust me, I know. Okay, so for these young brothers that's caught up in this situation with the guns and you know the guns thing, I don't you know, I have a problem with gun charges for an active duty military member.
that's what I was trying to get at. Like, I didn't understand how we got
not a possession charge, you know, like not no possession. Now, because I know from experience, if you out there and you do something with it,
they was busting their guns was different.
Yeah, you know, now I can speak from that. You know, if you out there busting the gun, then you might need to, you know, go through that process.
But just because you have it though.
But just because you in possession of it and you didn't use it in a crime, they didn't pistol. They didn't say they pistol whipped the dude.
They didn't say none of that. They didn't say none of that. Yeah.
So that right there is some bullshit. And then, you know, whatever little money they got going on, I didn't see no drugs. Like young people be having they like to have money in their pocket. When I was young, I used to do that. I used to like to keep some cash, you know. I'm older now. We going digital, baby, and we get points and rewards. So you know, so if I need some, so you rob me for practice. You know what I'm saying? You might want to shoot me because I ain't got shit to give you, you know, like I ain't got no cash for you, you know. So like, and we ain't old school keeping cash under the mattress, none of that dumb shit. Like we just gonna swipe, you know, and get the points and be rewarded. So I don't see why they was holding that up like evidence, like these guys were.
Yeah, I just didn't get it.
You know, like they should provide more, because breaking up an unruly party and tying gangbanging,
that's diabolical to me. Like,
you know,
that's crazy. Like I didn't get what he was saying, how one thing meant the other thing.
Yeah, you know, but this is what happens, and this is where that first part I was talking about, when you allow yourself to make bad choices.
Yeah.
All right, and and put yourself in position to make bad choices, then now whatever stigma come with it, you can't blame the police officer for, you know, we can have our opinion against it, but if they would have handled the thing different and conducted themselves different, would the police officer now have the ability to now, would the police department have the ability now to be talking about they got the guns, they got the money, they gangbangers and all that? No. So as much as people want to point the finger at them, at the police and say, hey, that's raggedy, that's woo woo woo, which may be fair. How about the accountability on the part of the sailors, you know, who forgot their military bearing?
For a moment.
Who thinking that some shit can't come back to the base. Like when, like, and that's the worst thing. You got fucking ID, bro. When you got one of them IDs, bro, like you're traceable. You know, like
you're being tracked.
You're being tracked, like stupid.
Trust me.
And on the gang thing, it's a lot of young people. Any young person who is in a gang, I want to say this: any young person who is in a gang and you haven't gotten a felony, you haven't fucked your life up by the gang. If you can go and get in the military, go get in the military. All right, but change your life. Leave that bullshit where you left it and realize all the all the ignorance, the niggerance. All right, you've been fortunate enough to not get caught up by it, so now you can do something different with your life. All right, and take it from me, a person who got lucky like that. All right, who was able to leave the ignorance behind and got an opportunity. All right. So you can do that, you know, but you ain't gonna be able to gangbang in the Navy or no part of the service, no armed services. It ain't that, you know. You can rep the Navy. You know, you can rep the Marines, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, you know, Air Force, all that. You know, you can rep all that, but you ain't gonna be, it ain't no screaming out gang for real. They gonna get you the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, no, that's 100% facts. That's crazy.
Also developing at 4, we're learning about a national crime ring bust that involved a jewelry store in Seminole County.
Investigators say they've recovered $150 million worth of gold belonging to elderly victims around the world. Here's how investigators say this scam works. Scammers would call their victims pretending to be federal agents, telling them their money was compromised. The victims were told to convert their life savings into gold bars, and they would be picked up for safekeeping. They promised to take it to stores in Texas, Florida, and Georgia, where it would then be melted down and the profits would be laundered. Orlando Gold Refinery in Altamont Springs on 436 and Ronald Reagan Boulevard at the center of this major investigation. Channel 9's Nick Papantonis is live there now. And Nick, deputies don't know much about how much these scammers actually got away with.
No, I was told that some victims in this scam lost more than $1 million apiece. 2 people are now in jail in connection to what happened, what deputies say happened here. They're eventually going to be heading to Texas to face prosecutors.
They're super fair. That's what I'm saying. I'm like shocked.
Charles Peru says he's been a customer of Orlando Gold Refinery for years and has never had any concerns. He and other customers stunned when we told them 2 of its operators were arrested.
Look at these 2 pieces of work.
Damn.
John and Timothy. They look like they having a bad day out here scamming people and shit. I'm a fast forward this just a little bit. See if we can get to here we go. This is the part we want to hear right here.
Proceeds. We know that in Texas, we've lost $74.5 million.
Collin County, Texas Sheriff Jim Skinner said his investigation began in early 2025. His team already hit a store in the Dallas area last month, seizing $50 million there. He told me 19 people are in custody so far.
You are being held on a warrant out of Texas.
Timothy Odell and John Timmerman are the 2 under arrest in Florida. Both will remain in jail and face an extradition hearing Friday afternoon.
We don't really know anything yet, so we're working it all out.
Law enforcement will never, ever call you on the telephone and tell you that you're in trouble and that you can get out of trouble by paying some money.
Sheriff Skinner said most of the people in his county have already recovered their money. I talked to him about others who might be victims, especially here in Seminole County and across Central Florida. We talked about how they can potentially get their money back. We're going to cover that portion of the interview and show you his response coming up on Eyewitness News at 6.
What you got on that, guy, real quick?
I blame our inability to question the police for that to happen, right? Because the fact that people could impersonate law enforcement and so many, you see so many people get bodied and beat up by the police by asking for a supervisor or asking for more assistance because they feel uncomfortable with the current services that they're receiving, I guess. So they wanna ensure that somebody is here to make sure that they're doing the right thing, because that is frowned upon in a major way, to where it can look like or be interpreted that you're resisting arrest with violence or without violence, or you're being chatty or talking back to the police. I think that instills fear into people, to where somebody could pretend to be somebody and say, hey, if you want to get out of this, pay this money, and they naturally don't go call the captain of the police department to verify, and they just pay the money, because who wants to go take off from work and go to court?
That's crazy.
I think people
Okay.
I think people are
crazy.
I think people are that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Even Bubbles Brown said, wow, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
look,
what I think, guys.
but
That
look,
was
God,
wild.
look, God, let me say this. The police officer said, the sheriff said, in no situation will law enforcement ever call you and say you have to pay for something. You in trouble, but you can just pay your way out of it. Just do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sound like that should be common sense, right?
I'm saying
like
I get what you saying about the whole, leading up to shit, but I'm just saying, like,
it should be common
like
sense, right?
suckers, like people dumb as shit.
Yes.
Like I can't even really feel no type of empathy for them. I would like to, I mean, it's bad, fuck scammers, fuck them two fat boys that was doing that shit, whatever, may they get whatever they deserve. But but how do you not know? How do you not know that you can't do that? How do you not know that, that everything comes with a ticket? Everything comes with a ticket.
Yo, peep game, God. Like even now, like we need our banks to tell us that they would never ask us for this code that they send us, so that we would never tell it to nobody. Why? Because you actually got scammers calling people, asking them for that code, and they sounded really like Navy Federal, or they
hello, this is they code switching. Hello, this is Navy Federal Credit Union. It's like they don't sound like nobody. Navy Federal, but they done put that customer service over somewhere overseas somewhere.
And they're starting to sound like, right? Not for nothing. Like it's and so what that cop said, that law enforcement will never action, like that needs to be known to protect all the people that got thinking that they was talking to real law enforcement.
And I'm saying, how is it not though? Like that's like, how is it not known that like,
people are scared of the
like
police?
When you in trouble with the police, like usually you in cuffs. You know what I'm saying? Or you getting a little blue slip or yellow slip or a pink slip or a white slip. You getting a little piece of paper, and they just like, hey, let's not have to do this again, because the next time it's clink, clink, or it's a fine or something. So, that's the way this, it's what I think it is I think it's not as many people have had that much interaction as the police as we think. And that's what
Yes,
I think it
that's
is.
that's my point. They
And that's what I
scared.
think it is.
They don't know it.
And I credit that to have grown up, you know, being a troubled youth, and you know, being able to be fortunate enough to get my ass out of trouble. You know, the elders that was around, the structure that was around to help me, you know. But you learn you're not one of those people who went through something and just like, yeah, I got away with that, or I got out of that. Like you actually said, I don't want to go through that no more. So either you did two things. Either you learned how to get away with shit, you know what I'm saying? Or you learned not to do it because you don't want to be in that situation again.
Yeah.
You know?
But the majority of people have not had the interaction. Like
Barbara Brown says, "There's no way I'm coming off my $1 million and you got to ask me by phone. Got to be kidding me for real. Got to be kidding. It's no way. Somebody gonna call
any of my dollars bubbling. Like not
right. Right. Any dollars. You'd be lucky asking me to donate to something. You know, I'm trying to tell you.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Because with the elderly, like they don't know, right? And now it's tough, man. Like it's like scammers are awful, bro. Like scammers are like human cancers. Right, like
all the way. One more. We got one more. Let's jump into this last one.
A new chapter of history is unfolding this weekend. The killing of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei at the hands of the U.S. and Israeli military. It is reverberating throughout the Middle East right now and beyond. In addition to the Ayatollah.
Do you think he's code switching?
Man, I think that dude is the code. And he said what the hell he.
You think he's code? Do you think he talk like that? You think Arrow talks like that for real? I think he talks like that for real.
Yeah. Because he really wanted to be a news anchor. Like
that might be his news anchor voice.
Because they do got that one sister that shows you her news anchor voice. Right. And she sounds completely different.
Now is that code switching or is that just your work voice?
That's what I was saying, right? Like, and it's not even work voice. It's just.
I mean, he has to be clear. He has to be articulate to present the stories. I think they do read off a teleprompter. You know,
I think we're accustomed to hearing news commentators sound in a certain way, and if they don't sound or look a certain way, we don't respect their information.
So you think they ain't even paying attention to dude because they like, who's this black white sounding? It's horrible. It's horrible, guy. Let's go. Let's get to the troops though, real quick.
Some 40 other senior members of his regime are also dead. After announcing what the U.S. is calling Operation Epic Fury, President Trump said now is the time for the Iranian people to rise up and reclaim their country. But Iran's foreign minister says the Islamic Republic regime will not be defeated. Those words backed up today with retaliatory strikes from Iran targeting Israel and several other countries in the Gulf region hosting American military bases. This war with Iran is already proving to be deadly for the U.S. as well. This morning, Central Command reports 3 service members killed in action, with 5 others seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. Our senior national security correspondent, Charlie Daggett, just filed this report with the latest escalating hostilities from Tel Aviv.
Iran began 40 days of mourning for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei after state-run media confirmed that he was killed at his Tehran compound. His successor has been announced as Alireza Arafi to lead a temporary council, but who's really in charge and where they can even meet safely is another matter. Israel Defense Forces released this video today, claiming to show multiple airstrikes blowing up Iranian government headquarters this morning. CBS News cannot independently verify that claim. Intelligence sources tell CBS News as many as 40 senior Iranian officials were killed in the first wave of strikes. Iran.
All right, that's all we got for that though, right there. What you think about that, guy? Because I didn't realize, you know, I'm just on some last minute. I didn't realize that they wasn't really talking about the soldiers that actually lost their life, that they was more going into all of these, you know, I thought that they would really like go in depth and, you know, release some names and stuff like that. Or,
so,
you know,
what I got is it goes back to the presentation of the information. According to that, we're at war with Iran. It's not a conflict or nothing less. Like they use the words verbally, war, and they had the word war at the top of the thing saying war with Iran. Like this is.
Look, I'm not. Look, I've seen what you've seen, but
you know what I'm saying?
But what's coming from my mouth is conflict, because
and I would agree with conflict
because it hasn't went through the proper legislative process to be deemed a war. So,
and that's what I think I know, right? To be true, but when the information brokers are telling me what I'm supposed to know, and they say that we're at war with Iran, and my conversations moving forward, talking to other dummies that don't know, and we start talking about the war we're at with Iran, does that then become us at war with Iran?
Hey, if you blow somebody's shit up, you don't think you already at war with them, and they didn't kill some of your people? Like, yeah, that's a fucking war. Like, yeah, we know it conflicts.
You know it conflicts.
That shit conflicts, right? So that's why we just call it a conflict, you know? Right? Like all that shit is flicted. You know, remember that word back in the day? That shit flicted,
man.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, bro.
Man, passport bros, man, keep your ass at home.
You know, at least not to the Middle East.
I think that's all they was going, was the Middle East, wasn't it?
Oh, no. They be Central South America.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, they be, you know, besides Dubai, don't nobody really be trying to go nowhere else. And, you know, you have guys who explore, like Ace. Mm-hmm. Ace is really dope, you know, but because everywhere he goes, he try to find the black people, you know. Like for real, like he really be searching for the black people. Haitian brother from 305, you know.
Hey.
And Ace Channel, he pretty good, man. Like he goes, explores things. He dope. But shout out to him. You know, we don't hate on nobody. But rest in peace to rest in power, rest in peace to all of the soldiers that have lost their life, all the US soldiers that have lost their life. And prayers and a speedy recovery to those that were injured, you know. Word. And hope that you make it back home safe. And hopefully your injuries aren't career ending, you know, or permanent in nature, that you have to deal with it for the rest of your life. Coming from two veterans who are permanently disabled for the rest of their life.
For the rest of their life.
You know. So
you gotta smile, God.
You know, saying that you just you know, you seen the depression set in.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta smile, God.
Smiles and love, baby. We coming back with it. But
you've just been flavor bombed, and now back to our show.
So, yep, y'all, tonight we have been smoking on code switching. And we are at our fifth and final, last but never least question. Is the saying code switching bad, good, or misunderstood? Let us know what you think in the comments section or the chat, depending on where you watching us at. The God, Ali Dawood El, the BK Soul Farm. Bad, good, or misunderstood, God?
So I'm gonna say that the meaning of code switching is misunderstood totally, because I think nobody really read the definition.
Nobody read it. Who reads definitions? That's just for the kids and they book reports. We don't need that. We way
You know what I'm
smarter
saying?
than
Way smarter than Webster.
we way smarter than fifth graders. Right?
That's why they had a whole show for season.
Just to let people know, like, you're not.
You're not.
You're not.
100% not. But the definition, and the superpower ness of it all makes it good, right? Because when you look at our real life experiences of having to travel the world and seeing people quote unquote lesser than us or have lesser resources than we do here, have more flexibility and more access to the world just by their ability to communicate more better with other people, right? So I would say that the meaning is misunderstood, but the definition is good. Overall, it is misunderstood in totality because it is demonized solely by the Black community, not even the African American community specifically, but it because other Black people from other countries come here to America and get on code, right? They code switch. But then they also too make fun of Black Americans that might appear to be looking like they're not from Brooklyn because they're trying to keep their job and do the exact same things, right? So it's one of those things that's demonized by everybody. So it's misunderstood mostly, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely good. Because we gotta learn how to code switch, because that saying there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
So how can we not code switch and apply that knowledge? That there's a time and a place for everything. Because we have to be able to apply that. So that's why I say that is good in that sense. But I wholeheartedly agree with you and the chat that it is misunderstood, and specifically the reason that you said, because our meaning, we demonize it, and particularly in the Black community, in the African American community, where people allow their insecurities or their inability to be expressed because they have met someone or they have encountered someone who can articulate themselves better than they can, and it is better. It's not a competition better.
It's just better.
But it is better because it's more effective.
Yeah.
And that's what we strive for, effective communication. So y'all let us know what y'all think is code switching bad, good, or misunderstood. And those wild questions tonight. What do you think of when you hear the saying code switching? Have you ever experienced code switching, and what was that outcome? Does code switching only apply to Black Americans? If so, why or why not? Should code switching be encouraged or avoided, and why? And is code switching bad, good, or misunderstood? Let us know what you think in the chat. We always, or the comment section below, we always care about what you think and what your opinions are, insights, which, and we always respond to everything. So make sure to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, y'all. So share this with somebody like you, and get them to subscribe too. We appreciate y'all for it. and hit that notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. We want everybody to have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week, y'all. It's a lot going on in the world, so stay prayed up. You know, spread some love, spread some smiles. You know, enjoy yourself. It's Pisces season, so you got a reason to celebrate. Also, you know, it is Women's History Month too. So if you have some women in your life, even past women, you know, or women in your life, you know, show them some appreciation, because it's a lot of strong mothers, professional women out here, you know, a lot of strong women doing their thing. So shout out to all y'all. We love all y'all, you know, and we'll see you next time right here on Cigar Sundays Live with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Until next time, peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Post your DB Chef TV merch to your social media and enter to win $1,000 cash. That's right, $1,000 cash. Must be 18 years old or with parental consent. See contest rules for full details. Visit the DB Chef TV gift shop and post your merch to win.
Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube.
If it's Friday night and you don't have a date, then brunch with the fellas is your spot, so don't be late. We go up at 9 p.m. with the trending topic news. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. Don't be rude at Brunch Fellas, now streaming on YouTube.
Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel. Smoking on words like two big nerds. Hosted by DB Chef TV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
You are the key to your financial freedom. So unlock your inner wealth with financial fundamentals at Bows on the Table. Subscribe today and never miss a meal at Bows Podcast. Bows on the Table, now streaming on YouTube.
At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at dbcheftv.com.